all about the brand new Island Tower at Disney's Polynesian Villas and Bungalows coming to Walt Disney World later this year. Disney announced that a brand new Disney Vacation Club, or DVC for short, resort was being built adjacent to the existing Polynesian Villas and Bungalows resort. Because I know some of you are brand new to the Disney World, let me explain some of those terms. I'm going to quickly give a brief background on some of the terms and explain what they are, terms that I'll be using throughout this video, because I know that a lot of you are brand new to the Disney World, and so it could be overwhelming to when you hear people talking about all of these things that you may not be aware of. So first of all, the Magic Kingdom is the theme park that is located it's the first theme park that was built in Orlando, Florida, where Walt Disney World is located. There are 4 theme parks: the Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. The Magic Kingdom was the first built, like I said. It is the original. It mirrors the Disneyland theme park in Anaheim, California, which was the first of the Disney parks built worldwide. And so it sort of has the iconic things, Cinderella Castle, Main Street, all the things you would think of when you think of Disney. Just in front of the Magic Kingdom is a body of water called Seven Seas Lagoon. There are 3 resorts that sort of abut the Seven Seas Lagoon. The first is Disney's Polynesian Resort. This is the existing resort that the new Island Tower, that is the focus of this video, will be built next to. There is the Contemporary Resort. Now, right next to the Contemporary Resort is called Bay Lake Tower. It is similarly a DVC tower that is sort of connected in a way to the Contemporary. That'll be important later, so I'll come back to that point. And there's also the Grand Floridian Resort that's also on the Monorail Loop. Interestingly, the Grand Floridian Resort is not an opening day resort, meaning it's not one of the original resorts that was there the day that Magic Kingdom opened. Those 2 resorts are the Contemporary and the Polynesian Resort. But interestingly enough, the Grand Floridian is sort of like the flagship resort of Walt Disney World, and sort of one of the biggest and one of the flashiest, and gets a lot of attention. But so that's important, knowing what Seven Seas Lagoon is, the Magic Kingdom, and all those neighboring resorts. They're called Monorail Loop resorts because there is a loop that the monorail takes that can get you to all those resorts and to the Magic Kingdom. And the last piece I want to talk about, and I'm not going to turn this into a transportation-themed episode, but I will be uploading several transportation-themed episodes soon, so stay on the lookout for that. But there is something called the Transportation and Ticket Center that is sort of the hub of the Disney monorail, and from there you can get to all those resorts I named. You can get to the Magic Kingdom. You can also get to one other theme park, and that is Epcot. I will explain all of that eventually in other videos, but I felt like that was helpful background as I explain more about the new Island Tower Resort coming soon. It's important because the brand new Disney Vacation Club Tower is going to be adjacent to and associated with the existing Polynesian Resort. Back up, I will explain. Disney Vacation Club, or DVC for short, is a timeshare program where people purchase a certain amount of points for a set price at a home resort, and then they can use those points throughout the years to stay at either their home resort or other DVC resorts. Polynesian Resort, as it exists right now, is yes, it's a DVC resort, but it also has standard, meaning regular rooms. So you don't have to be a DVC member to stay either in the regular rooms or in the DVC room. At the Polynesian, there is sort of a restriction on the size of the room, or rather the availability of certain sized rooms at the resort as it stands. And this is important because the new DVC tower called Island Tower is going to help alleviate and answer some of those questions, if you will. At the Polynesian Resort right now, or the Poly for short, you can stay in a standard room, which is your typical hotel room where you will see 2 queen beds or a king bed. You can stay in a DVC room. So some of the buildings there were converted not so long ago to DVC rooms, meaning they have DVC style rooms. But a unique thing about the Polynesian is that there's only 2 types of rooms that are DVC rooms in the DVC buildings. And those types are called deluxe studios. Deluxe studios are a little bit larger than a regular standard room. They have 1 bed, and then they have a couch where there's a pull-out bed, and they have a small kitchenette and a cooler, not a full-size fridge, and of course a bathroom. And unlike other DVC rooms, they don't have a dedicated bedroom or bedrooms plural. At the existing Polynesian Resort are what they call the bungalows, and those are the sort of buildings that if you've been before, you see sort of hovering on stilts over the body of water known as Seven Seas Lagoon, right there on the edge of the Polynesian resort. They have more than one bedroom, but there are not many of them, and they're pretty pricey and they're hard to come by. So due to the lack of availability and accessibility from a price perspective, those aren't really an option for your average Disney World visitor. Enter the Island Tower at Disney's Polynesian Resort. So for short, I'm just going to call it Island Tower. This is a thing that I mentioned at the top of the video that was announced back in 2022. And there is good news. It is arriving seemingly on schedule in December of 2024. So that means this year. It is going to be, like I said, adjacent to the Polynesian Resort. And I think they're going to share a lot of amenities. Like I said, I'm going to compare it to Bay Lake Tower and the Contemporary, which are on the other side of Seven Seas Lagoon in a minute. But I think we can look to sort of that relationship and those structures to inform what to expect from this resort. Let's start with the different room types that Disney has revealed so far. Island Tower is going to have duo studios, 1-bedroom villas, 2-bedroom villas, and this brand new type called 2-bedroom penthouse villas. Studios are new to this resort and sort of new to the DVC type style of rooms or types of rooms. We first saw those at the Riviera Resort. Full guide and review to Disney's Riviera Resort, another DVC resort that's actually in the Epcot area. It's one of my favorite resorts now. I will link that in the description down below for you to see if you're interested. The duo studios are really tiny. It is essentially a room, and Murphy bed pulls down into basically all the available space. You have your TV, you have a small deck, and you have a bathroom. It seems to be intended for, lack of better parlance, the Disney adults, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it's small, you're not going to stay there that often, you still want a decent sized room with some amenities, you like the location, you like the resort, but you don't need a big space. That's the perfect option for you. So these are going to be also at Island Tower next to the Polynesian. 1-bedroom villas, 2-bedroom villas, and then 2-bedroom penthouse villas. Now I think on that latter type or option, it's just going to be a 2-bedroom villa with a really good view. This is going to be on Seven Seas Lagoon, and it's going to be 10 stories tall, so there's going to be really good views of the fireworks and the Electrical Water Pageant, and I will get into that soon when I discuss more of my analysis section on what to expect from Island Tower. A lot of other DVC resorts, they're going to have up to the 3-bedroom option, and those are known as grand villas, and those are truly massive rooms for really large families. I've never stayed at one of those. It would be awesome, but those are not going to be at Island Tower, just so you're aware. So far, Disney has released some concept art for the main public areas, and as of a few days ago released a first look at some actual bedrooms. So let's talk all about that. And talking about that, I want to bring up Disney's Riviera Resort again really quickly, because Disney's Riviera is known for being sort of a modern, contemporary type resort, not the actual contemporary named resort, I meant in terms of style, with Disney flourishes but not overtly Disney. That resort, which is also a tower, meaning it's not a bunch of smaller buildings laid out, it's 10 stories tall as well. I think that structure informs again a lot of what's happening at Island Tower. So what we're looking at is a lot of Polynesian island and sort of conservation and nature inspired decor, and also with Moana touches that aren't overtly sort of pop Disney like a lot of older resorts sort of have in their decor. I mean, there's anything wrong with the older style of Disney resorts that are a little more on their face. I like those styles, and those scream Disney in a good way, but they're introducing a different type of variety. It seems to be a little more upscale. There's some elegance to it. There's some nice touches, while also keeping that sort of Disney brand. For the bedrooms, expect a lot of subtle Disney decor that is inspired by the Polynesian islands, a lot of neutral tones, oceanic in theme, nature, elemental in scope. Also though, with light Moana touches. In case you don't know, Moana is very popular, not just at the Disney parks, but across streaming platforms. It was, I think, either earlier this year or later last year, it was revealed to be the most streamed movie across all streaming platforms, not just Disney Plus. There is a Moana sequel coming out this November, and there is a live action Moana being made. So yeah, her touches are also all over the existing Polynesian resort, where a retheme not so long ago added Moana theming and decor to the existing standard rooms. So expect more of her, not just at Island Tower, but sort of all around the resorts and in theaters pretty soon. Briefly talk about the public areas, and what I mean by that is the lobby and sort of the entryway. We don't have a lot of confirmed information about this, but we do have concept art from Disney. From what I can gather, again, expect a lot of subtle decor. The colors are going to be a little more, not subdued, but I would say, like I said, subtle, not as brash. They sort of seem to mix with the outdoor surroundings and sort of blend in with the elements. A lot of influences from the Polynesian islands and culture, of course, water, the ocean, but also land and nature, and just things that the culture sort of stands for and that Disney's really trying to imbue at this new resort. And what I'm excited to see are some of the art installations from local artists that, of course, inspired by the Polynesian culture, Polynesian animals at the different islands across the Polynesian islands. And of course, a really big one that they revealed is going to be inspired by a manta ray, which of course features prominently in the first Moana film. And yeah, I think it's going to look fantastic. I think it's going to really mesh well with Seven Seas Lagoon and the surrounding areas. What I'm excited to see is how the theming, if at all, meshes with the existing Polynesian resort, which sort of has its own distinct vibe. Is it going to be separate from the Polynesian, or are they going to sort of blend well together when you go from one building to the next? I'm excited to see that. And some other concept art, we see some hammocks, we see some palm trees. There's definitely a pool there. We know there's going to be some sort of dining, and there usually are sort of pool bars and lounges next to pools. But at this time, Disney has not revealed anything for certain coming to those areas. So what can we speculate about? This is a 10-story building. It is a tower, and it is located on Seven Seas Lagoon. Like I mentioned earlier, there's going to be excellent views from whatever terrace is located on the top floor. And there has to be a terrace. Again, looking back to the Riviera Resort, there is Tapalino's Terrace, one of my favorite restaurants on the top level, where you can have breakfast, dinner, and then go out on the terrace and enjoy the views, sometimes even during the Epcot nighttime spectacular called Luminous. Bay Lake Tower, which is adjacent to the contemporary resort across Seven Seas Lagoon, there is also a rooftop lounge there, although it is called Villain's Lair, and it used to be called Top of the World Lounge, and it is actually exclusive for DVC members. So not everybody can go. You have to be a DVC member to at least access the lounge at the top, is where you can watch the fireworks at the Magic Kingdom from really close by. I don't know if the DVC tower is going to have a terrace that is exclusive only to DVC members. I think that would cut off a huge audience, but obviously Disney's done that before at a nearby resort. But I think it would be a huge opportunity to have some sort of character dining experience there, sort of like at the Riviera Resort, where Mickey and a few other, Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Daisy show up to greet guests at breakfast time. I think that something similar to that would be a huge hit, not only due to its proximity to the Magic Kingdom, but also because of the views it offers at all times during the day. Watching Happily Ever After from the Monorail area resorts is sort of an attraction in itself, and Disney pros know the best spots and know where to go without actually having to be into the park. Villain's Lair, like I mentioned, at Bay Lake Tower offers awesome views. Again, you have to be a DVC member. But there's also a sky bridge between Bay Lake Tower and the Contemporary Resort that guests can go for free and watch the fireworks and even have the music pumped in to enjoy the show without being inside the Magic Kingdom. Another example is the beach at the existing Polynesian Resort. It can get kind of crowded, so I think sometimes they limit it to resort guests, but you can go and watch the fireworks, and again, they pump the music through that area so you can enjoy it without actually having to step foot into a park. And the sort of height vantage of the tower, of the island tower already, is going to provide a awesome opportunity for big Disney fans to enjoy these already existing things from a different vantage point, and you know people are going to really want to be doing that. So in my opinion, I think that, you know, whether the view is from a beach area or a lower level or some sort of terrace, I think it's going to be a unique opportunity, something new and something special that I think Disney fans are really excited about, and I think Disney's definitely going to provide that option. The Electrical Water Pageant was one of my favorite things to do at Walt Disney World, and it's completely free. It's just a nighttime boat and light show that's gone on for years right there on Seven Seas Lagoon. Similar to the fireworks show at the Magic Kingdom, big Disney fans like myself find the best views to watch that from around the resorts. I'm not going to turn this video into a best places to watch the Electrical Water Pageant video, but let me know if you want me to make a video like that, because I will do so. But what I will say is there's already really great existing views at the Polynesian Resort, so I think Island Tower is going to offer another unique vantage to watch the Electrical Water Pageant. About transportation and speculation. From what I can gather, there's not going to be an additional monorail stop at Island Tower. So what does that mean? This means that guests staying in Island Tower are going to have to walk to the the monorail station at the existing Polynesian Resort, which is on the second level of what's called the Grand Ceremonial House, or the lobby. Second level can get pretty popular and busy with the guests already existing at the Polynesian Resort and other guests that sort of hop around the resorts on the monorail who aren't staying there. So I'm going to be, I am interested to see how this is going to impact crowd levels and what to expect, because there's going to have to be a walkway between the resort and the monorail station. And obviously those guests are going to want to take advantage of that perk. So I don't know how Disney's going to facilitate that additional sort of flow of people. So I'm eager to see how that's going to work out. You can walk from the Polynesian Resort to the Transportation and Ticket Center. Like I said, I'm not going to veer too far into making this a transportation themed episode, but from the Transportation and Ticket Center, you can take the express straight to the Magic Kingdom, or you can switch on and get on the Epcot monorail line and get to Epcot. So even if you're staying at Island Tower without having your own station, you can have at least a walkway to get to the station at the Polynesian Resort and get to the Magic Kingdom, get to the other monorail resorts, or it's a little further away, but walk all the way to the Transportation Ticket Center, avoid crowds, and get directly on the Epcot monorail stop. For some people who don't want to walk an extra distance or feel like they walk enough at the theme parks, but for me, an extra walk is nice, and you're still much closer than people at other resorts. You don't have to get on a bus, you don't have to get in your own car. So again, location, location, location. Island Tower, it's not going to have its own things, its own transportation stop, but I think Disney, there's some proof in older Disney resorts that this is completely fine. Where I mentioned earlier that I was going to talk about Bay Lake Tower, it is perhaps my favorite Disney resort. It's within the closest walking distance to the Magic Kingdom. It is on the other side of Seven Seas Lagoon from the existing Polynesian and where the Island Tower is going to be built. What I'm trying to say, though, to keep this shorter, is that Bay Lake Tower doesn't really have a lot of its own amenities. It has a pool, it has a community hall, has a few things to do, but there's a sky bridge and a walkway to Disney's Contemporary Resort, which is another popular opening day resort. And that's where there's a bunch of restaurants, a bunch of dining options, a bunch of shopping options, and a monorail station stop. So if you're staying at Bay Lake Tower, you can walk to the Magic Kingdom, yes, but if you want anything else, you have to walk a little bit further to the Contemporary and use its amenities and offerings. That's attractive to me because there's actually less people actually at Bay Lake Tower, in my opinion, doing things or stopping to do things. You don't have people coming and saying, I have to do XYZ at this resort, because there's not much to do. You just stay there. There's a pool, there's other options and outdoor things to do, but you have to go to the Contemporary to really eat or, access some of the bigger pools or shop or get on the monorail. People do that at the Polynesian. If you're not staying there, you go there to eat, you go there to swim in the pools, you go there to shop. But, how is that going to work out when at the Island Tower, they may not have as many of those amenities? It's going to be interesting to see whether people start, after the buzz dies down, whether people are going to frequent Island Tower if they're not staying there, and instead sort of keep the existing Polynesian as like the place to go to when you're resort hopping or just having a resort day, or if you just want to go to the Polynesian. Starting June 4th, existing DVC members were able to make a reservation at the Polynesian. Now, I think they had to make cash purchase reservations. They can't use their points yet, and that's a whole other video about getting into DVC points and whatnot. June 5th, annual pass holders like myself can make a reservation, and as of June 6th, it's open to the public. So if you're interested in staying here, you can go ahead and make a phone call or get on the Disney World website and see if there's availability. It's probably going to be pretty high in terms of cost because, again, it's brand new. It's on the monorail loop. It's close to the Polynesian. It's walking distance of the Grand Floridian. You're going to have all those views that I talked about. I mean, it's the Polynesian sort of elevated in a way, and I think there's just already going to be a built-in demand. But I don't think it's sold out, although I don't have access to those numbers. They're still advertising that you can reserve a room. So I think Disney would make some sort of formal announcement, or you would see it online if there was no availability. So you can go ahead and start now. It opens on December 17th of 2024. So perfect timing for good weather and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, which is an after hours party I could talk about in a different video. But yeah, I'm excited I love the resorts. Going to the resorts is almost as exciting as the theme parks. Not really, but it's close to for me. I'm ready to explore a brand new resort. I will be there in December to see its opening day, and I am eager to see what new announcements are coming. I will update you here, of course, or on my blog. And I'm eager to see the dining options, if there's going to be that terrace, either character experience or other dining experience. I'm eager to see how this fits in with the existing resorts. And, technically you can also walk through the Grand Floridian and go through the Grand Floridian loop to enter the Magic Kingdom without using any transportation. So it's a really advantageous spot. And from a sort of operational and logistics perspective, I want to see how it meshes with the flow of the other resorts and whether it starts to feel busier in an otherwise relatively calm area. That's all we know about Island Tower coming to Disney's Polynesian Resort. Again, This is the Disney World Dad signing off. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you like this video, please consider subscribing.